Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I am a stay-at-home mom of 2 boys, and I had been trying to figure out how to make money online from home so I could be home with my kids, so I wouldn't miss out on anything, and here we are. So I've been in the online space for 10 plus years, and I found myself saying, okay, people are making money online. How are they doing it? Why can't I figure this out? And I would beat myself up over it because I just felt like I have enough knowledge or enough, I knew that I had the ability to do it. It was just a matter of what is the process that they're following that I'm not, that I can't figure out. Welcome in, everybody. So I found myself just feeling defeated, but also never giving up because I still kept trying to search for the thing. If you can relate, give me a yes in the comments, because I felt like I'm not going to compromise being home with my kids and being the stay-at-home mom, because I knew that when I had kids, that's what I always just said, I want to be here. I don't want to miss out. And also my kids do online school from home. And I thought, I'm never going to give up. And I found myself in typing jobs, typing my fingers off that if I'm not typing, I'm not getting paid. I'm done with that. Like, I don't want to type anymore. If anybody has had a typing job, you can totally relate, I'm sure, to hours upon hours of work it's hard to sit at a desk with a foot pedal, hands on the keyboard, just typing for hours. And so I'm done with that. And I found myself running across this opportunity. And on the surface, it was like, okay, it's everything I've looked for. What's the catch? You know, I'll be the first one to admit that I was skeptical, because I thought, well, how do you work 2 hours a day and make 100% profit? Like, those two things for me, my brain just was like, how is that possible? And I looked into it, and the thing that I knew, the person that posted it would not post something that wasn't legit. So that was the thing that really went, okay, he's not going to be posting this if it's not legit, because it's somebody that I knew in the online space. So I trusted. And that's part of all of this, is like the know, like, trust. I get it. You know, you run across somebody and maybe you don't trust what they're saying because you don't know what type of person they are. If you're just joining me, I want to reread this quote. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. And I am very much, well, whether I was on board with it or not, how it works is what you believe is the reality you create. And I will also say, if you're new here, I have an ADD brain and I am all over the place, but I'm learning how to work with my brain instead of against it, because if you've struggled with that, you know what it feels like to feel like, oh my gosh, why can't I just be consistent with something? And why can't I just do it? Why can't I just have, like, figure things out like other people? Again, I got to a point where I said, okay, but here's me, I'm me, right? And loving me in all respects is what it's all about. And so if I bring that back around to this opportunity, when I got into it, I quickly realized it's about figuring out who you are and connecting with other people that whatever you're saying resonates with them. Finding your perfect customer. To me, a lot of the words like customer and sales and those things do not resonate with my brain. It was funny the other night. I was talking to my husband about stuff, and he was just like, why do you keep trying sales jobs? Because I've been part of an MLM. I've a couple different MLMs or network marketing. I've been in that space, and it never worked out because the same reasons I just said, like it didn't resonate with my brain. Somebody else could say the same exact thing and I would say it and I'd be like, and so of course, if I'm thinking that in my own head, then how is it translating to the people that are listening or watching or hearing me say it? They're like, I don't know, that doesn't sound right coming from her. It was a belief that just, it kept going. It kept saying, you're not a salesperson. You're not trained to be in sales. You've never been in sales. Some people know how to sell and other people don't know how to sell other people's. You know what I'm saying? And so again, it brought me back to the spiral of why can't I just figure something out? I don't want to type anymore, but I want to be home with my kids. And we've all seen, if you're here, most likely you have seen digital marketing stuff all over TikTok. There's a lot of things going on. And I mean, the main reason is because the digital world, I mean, unless you live under a rock, you know that things are just booming. It's not slowing down. This isn't a fad or a trend. It's more like, no, everybody's realizing, they're getting on board and saying people are successful making money online. But if you're someone like me who had zero experience either in marketing itself, because some people have training or school, they've gone to school for marketing, like marketing for a company or whatever. And so you've learned strategies on how to present something so that people want what you have or what you're selling. And again, I never got to that point because I thought, well, that doesn't resonate with me. Where I'm going with all of this is I put these beliefs in my head based on whatever, whether it was proof of me trying the MLMs, which by the way, the products that it wasn't a matter of me trying to sell something I didn't believe in, because the network marketing or the MLM I was a part of, like their products are part of my daily life. So it wasn't a matter of whether I believed in it. And that's where there was a disconnect, was, okay, I believe in this stuff, but when I try to present it to others, it just doesn't come across. For whatever reason, there's a disconnect. So it was this vicious cycle, this loop. And here I am still typing every day, hating it because I want to be done, like, carpal tunnel, and just, it would go up to my elbow. And like, I mean, it's just, you can only type. I typed for 20 years, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And a lot of it working 8 hours a day, typing, just typing straight 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. And all while my kids are home. And so I didn't want to do that anymore. And here's me back in the loop again. Okay, I'm online, right? Searching, Googling how to make money online from home. And I tried to piece together all the free information that I could. I was all over YouTube looking it up, and there's information out there. There is definitely information out there. Now, in 10 years, it wasn't enough for me to piece together to actually make something work. And why was that? Because at the end of the day, The investment in something is where I got in a lot of, I had a lot of flack not the last time I said it, the time before, the very first time I came online and said, when you invest in something, you're signaling to the universe, I'm ready. And I got flack for it because it was like, oh, this is like, the secret stuff and manifesting and blah, 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 blah. Take responsibility for your actions and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I also know that what you believe and what you put out there as far as your energy and just your vibe definitely plays a part. I don't care I mean, everything is made of energy. We're made of energy. This pen, like everything is energy. And so if you're putting out a negative vibe, if you have negative thoughts, it's going to translate into your reality. Like that's what you're going to create more of. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want. Manifesting, because manifesting, let me just say this really quick. Manifesting, it works whether you are intentionally doing it or not. And what I mean by that is if you don't like your situation you're in, okay? If you every day you're like, oh, all I have to do is pay bills. Every day all I get is more bills. They just keep coming in. Why do I keep? Of course there's more bills. You're going to just keep getting more bills because you're so focused on that. You're focused on that, so you get more of that. It works both ways. So it's working whether you are trying to make it work or not, because you don't have to try. Like you are doing it based on your existence every day, how you wake up. And this isn't to say that we don't have rough times, that we don't have negative thoughts that pop into our head. But what it is saying is, what do you do with that? Or how can you reframe your thoughts to create the reality that you want? That's the key. And so again, if I wrap this all back to online stuff, I've been in the online space for 10 years, and this program that I found is called the Legacy Builders. And the biggest, okay, let me just break it down, because if you're brand new to this and you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me just give you the quick rundown. This is a digital marketing opportunity, and I'm going to tell you all the different ways that you could use it, okay, for lack of a better word, how you can use this program, okay? If you are somebody that doesn't have a business, you don't have a product, you don't really plan on doing that, you haven't been on social media, but you're like, oh, I really want to be, or I want to be online making money, doing something, social media marketing, or you're interested in that whole idea. This could be for you because it's education number one. Okay, the Legacy Builders is a program that teaches you how to market online. And what does that mean? It teaches you how to have a digital product or something, service, product, something in the online space, and teaches you the skills on how to get it in front of the eyeballs of the people that were like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm looking for. That is it in a nutshell, okay? And so with this program, they give you the opportunity to share it. Again, remember how I said the whole salesy thing for me? It just didn't resonate. I say share an opportunity with others so that they can also get in the program and share it with others, and you make 100% profit. So if you get in the Legacy Builders, it's $900. And again, I'm going to be transparent about all of it, because it's not helpful if somebody comes on and just kind of talks around it and doesn't really explain it, because then you're left going, I don't get it. Like what's the point, and what would I be doing, and what is she talking about? If you get in the Legacy Builders, it's $900. This is where I'm going to with the universe too, is you're investing in something and saying, okay, I'm betting on me. And what you're getting, number one, is education. Because like I said in the beginning of this live, I was fumbling and stumbling my way all over the internet saying, I know people are making money online. How are they doing it? And I was trying to piece together things for free, which it got me some, I learned some things doing it that way. But I also never got to the point where I was like, oh, sweet, now I'm making money and I did it all just with free information. Let's just say you did figure it out. You still have to pay somewhere to host your domain. Now, your domain is like a web address. Like mine is buildingwealthwithkatie.com. You have to have somewhere to host that, and you pay a fee to have somebody host. It's called like a landing page or a capture page. Hey, Martha. Welcome in, you guys. I'm so excited you're joining me. And so not only do you pay for somebody to host that, then you pay, this is based on an email list. So if somebody goes to my domain, buildingwealthwithkatie.com, you put in your email. So then you're on my email list. And not only do I send you emails, but you can also reply to those emails with questions that you have. Because I knew if I was going to do this, I was not going to just pitch something and then be like, good luck, hope it works out, and just disappear. I loved the idea. I knew what an email list was before, and we've all been on email lists. If you've ever been shopping and it's like, oh, put in your email and we'll give you 20% off your first purchase. You're putting your email in, that's their capture page. So you get that they're giving you the 20% off, but then now you're on their email list. And so you get their emails, right? Their promos. That's how I would just say that's how all businesses are doing it. If they're not, I don't know. Because right now, again, the online space is booming. So people are like, everyone has an email. You have to have an email for logging into things and creating accounts and all this kind of stuff. So that is a way to stay connected. Because if I don't have a Facebook group or I don't have a community set up, which kind of might be something I do eventually, but the email list is kind of like my own little community. And I'm still learning. So I'm learning how to set it up that way and how to have people just feel like, yeah, this is really cool. And so where my brain, my non-salesy brain, wants to constantly sabotage what I'm doing and just being like, oh, well, you're not good at sales. Well, you're not, kind of do that. And so when I focus on that, that's more of what I get. So I've shifted that sales. I'm not in sales. I share an opportunity. So anybody that comes across it, maybe it's not for you. And you're just like, no, that's a scam. Which it's not. But the reality is that's what a lot of people say, or it's a pyramid. That's the other thing. You can't have a pyramid if you make 100% profit, because a pyramid is based on the idea that you have a bunch of minions and when you sell one of the products, that the people above you or somebody above you gets like a cut of it, makes a percentage. That's not what this is, because I make 100% profit. If somebody buys the Legacy Builder program through me, that goes directly into my account. So I'm going to read this again because I know there's people coming in and out. And I also know that I figured some things out, and this is based on being in the program, but I'm like learning how to work with my brain. So if I have something I can circle back to, it helps my brain kind of go back to, even though I am all over the place. If you follow me, if you find me on other social media, I have an ADD brain, but I also know that brain is what inspires me daily. So believe in yourself. You're braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. being capable of more than you imagine. Because when you haven't been able to figure something out, it's so easy to just slide into this, well, I guess I'm just stuck doing what I'm doing. And this whole victim mindset just becomes part of your identity. I can say all this because this was me. 1,000% me. And I remember the exact day sitting on my couch in my living room. And again, this is me being real. This is me being transparent about this. I remember thinking, I am so sick of myself. I am sick of feeling like this. I'm sick of thinking these things. I'm sick of not being able to figure it out. I'm sick of it. And that day was pivotal because sometimes we need to hit those lows to understand, like, this is the bottom for me in that moment, to really have the motivation to say, I'm making a choice, because the reality is I was making a choice to stay stuck in the yuck too. That's a choice. That is hard for people to hear. It was hard for me to hear, because if you're in a scenario, whatever it is, and somebody wants to say, well, you're choosing to be there, your immediate reaction is like, you don't know me. You don't know the situation I'm in. You don't know what it's like to be XYZ. You don't know what it's like to have XYZ or not have that. You don't know. And so immediately we're defensive. But the reality is we're still choosing to be in that position. I decided in that moment I didn't want to be there anymore, and I was going to do what it takes to not be there. And that can start with one little different thought, or something that can change, or you can pivot, or you can reverse in your mind to start creating your reality of that. Now, how did I do all of that stuff? I decided that, and I had been in the online space, like I said, for like 10 plus years. And so I've met a lot of amazing people online. And I had this friend, and we were talking one day, and she said, well, I've been working with this lady, this coach, life coach, and I've had so many transformation moments and so many aha moments. And she's like, it's just been awesome. And so right away, my brain kicks in, oh, I'm not going to pay for that. I don't have money for that. Well, I figured it out, because again, that moment where I felt like I'm sick of myself, it didn't go away. And so I invested in me, truly, for the first time, being a mom. Because if you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about. When you have kids, you feel like you lose who you are. Maybe in my case, I felt like I wasn't sure who I was even before I had kids. But then you have kids, and then now you're mom, and your whole focus is your kids. And you're mom, that's you. Your identity is shifted to mom. And so all the things that you loved to do, and I mean, you keep them going in some respect, but at the end of the day, I just felt like I was losing me more and more. And so the more I focused on my kids and my family, which of course that's what we do as moms, we focus on other people, because that's our natural tendency, is like, I got to make sure they're okay first. I got to make sure, my husband, I got to make sure my kids, I got to make sure, to do all the things. And we get put on the back burner. We put ourselves on the back burner. And I'm not saying that in a negative way either, because also, if you're like me, my kids both had a lot of problems or issues when they were born. And so it was, in my mind, it was like, well, I don't even have the mental capacity to put myself in there anywhere, because my babies need me. And they have these issues, and there is nothing else I can focus on besides that. that I want to focus on besides that. So I'm not saying it in a negative way, but that becomes our whole world, is focusing on our kids and our family. And so at some point though, and this isn't for everyone, some people it's just like that is their whole world and it just stays like that and they live happily ever after. For me, I felt like there's still something out there for me, like my calling and my purpose. And I'm definitely the type of person that dreams big. And I think of the bigger picture and I feel things. Just, I'm also an HSP, if anybody's heard of that, highly sensitive person. Sounds and scenarios, and my brain can just take things to a different level where I'm feeling things, strong colors and descriptive words, and they jump out at me. And so I feel things deeply. And so I wanted something that was going to fulfill my soul. Being a mom was definitely part of it. Having a family that filled, oh my gosh, huge. There's still that other little bit that was like, but what else? Because I feel amazing being a mom. And I say this every live. Don't ever say you're just a mom. Being a mom is the most amazing, rewarding. In my mind, it's the most important job on the planet. Being a mom. You're raising the next generation. Think of it that way. When I heard that for the first time, it was like, whoa, because there's so much truth to it. But I kept finding myself saying, but what else? So when I'm in my typing jobs, okay, and I did medical transcription was my main source of typing or avenue of typing that I did, I was just a random number out in virtual space. I never even met, which, I mean, that was by design too. I'm like, yeah, I'm working at home. I can do everything online through emails and sometimes phone calls. But at the end of the day, I'm number 85624, barely even know my name, different boss seemed like every month. And when it came time for me to take my time off that I earned, my PTO, and they said, oh, I'm sorry, we have too much work. We have these deadlines. We're not going to approve your request for your time off. And I was like, what are you talking about? I want to take my time off that I earned. For them to be able to say, nah. And this is after working for a company for years and doing the extra time, working the overtime. Now, overtime, when you type, I was already typing 8 hours a day. But when they needed help, I was like, if I can muster up any extra few minutes for a few more reports, I'm going to do it to help them out. They don't care. They didn't care. Because when I threw a stink about them saying no to my PTO request, their response, quit then. We can replace you. Whether they said it in those words or not, that's what they said. Because you're number 8465238. You're not Katie. You don't have a family. You're not a person. You're just a number to do the work for their business, to make their business grow. I'm done with that. I was done with that then, but I also knew, well, I'm making some money, but I was making beans. Okay. But in my mind, well, it's something. It is allowing me to be home with my kids. I didn't want that anymore. That's where I started in the online space because I said, okay, I can do these other things, but I know there's ways people are making money online and I just want to tap into that. I feel like I'm smart enough. I feel like if I just learn, then I can do it. 10 plus years later. And I know now that I was not supposed to find this opportunity then. But now I can talk to people that are like me 10 years ago, and I can say, the education that I've gotten from this Legacy Builder program has taught me so many things. It's not just about how to make money. That's a big part of it. That's what's on the surface. Because, of course, if somebody's dangling something right in front of you that's like, oh, 100% profit. Oh, you won't work 2 hours, like work less, earn more. Also, work from anywhere. I don't have to sit here in my basement with my foot pedal and my keyboard typing. I can be sitting outside while my kids are running around like goofuses outside, but I can have my laptop and I can do some work out there. I can split it up in my day however I want. I can work a half an hour in the morning. I can work a little bit later. I can get it all done in the morning. I can wait and do it later. Like there's I get to choose because it's my business. And with my ADD brain, trust me, when people say, well, when I would struggle with like consistency for somebody with, I don't want to talk for everyone, with my ADD brain, the word consistency, I say it and I immediately get this. It's like one of those words that feels boring to me. I know that's what it is. I didn't know that originally. And my husband and people around me, when I would struggle, they'd be like, I don't understand why you just... Okay, I'll give you an example here. Okay, here's my complaint. Oh, I have these things, all these things I want to get done. And I don't understand why I can't get them done in a day. I'm just giving you an example, and here's my husband. Okay, and super, really genuinely try and help. Okay, make a list. He's like, here's what I do, okay? Make a list of all the things, and then as you do them, you check it off, and then you go to the next thing. And he wasn't trying to be patronizing, but very just basic. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try writing a list. And so the next day in the morning, I'm like, okay, or even the night before, okay, here's what I want to do. I would get up in the morning, look at my list and be like, it was way too much for my brain to process. If I made a list of like 10 things, I was like, it felt so overwhelming that I ended up maybe not even doing any of them, just kind of like frozen with like overwhelm. And so then it became, okay, if I can't write down 10 things and do it, let's try 5. And then let's try 3. Let's try 2. Let's try 1. And it might sound silly, but for my brain, overwhelm is a huge thing. So I'm like, okay, I would write down 1 thing. Do I do that every day? No. But it got to the point where my point I'm trying to make is I'm learning how to do it my way. I'm learning how to do all these things my way. The program is giving me the education on like, of course, there's all these people that you're going to run across. They're all over the place. And there's a bunch in our group that are like, $10,000 this week and, $30K in 90 days. And like these numbers that are just like, whoa. To me, that signaled it's not a matter of whether this works or not. It's a matter of what their approach is that works for them, right? Because it's part of the education. But also saying, okay, how is this going to work for me? Because back in the beginning of this live, again, when I said I've been in network marketing and MLMs, this is not either one of those. I would find myself saying the same things that people who are hugely successful in the company, they would say the same thing. I would say it and it would just be like crickets, or it would just not resonate with people. And I got so frustrated because I was like, I just said how they did. And after a while, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even say it like that. So that probably is why nobody cares, because that's not my voice. It's their voice. And part of me jumping on, like, I didn't even want to go live, which, by the way, you don't even have to go live to do this. You don't have to show your face. And what I'm also learning is this is helping me build my other stuff that I had going on online. Like, it went from an opportunity to share the program, which I'm always going to share it because it's been huge. It's like been the kindling to the fire. It's like if you throw a big giant log on a in your fire pit and just try to start it, is it going to light on fire? I don't know. Maybe if you do it long enough, if you're willing to sit there for a while. But if you have that starter stuff, whether it's kindling or papers or newspaper or whatever it is that gets the fire going, that eventually lights the whole thing, that's what this is. And it's all the stages. I shouldn't even say it's just the starter. It's all the stages to get it to a roaring fire. It's the education on how to do it all. And so now I'm finding myself, again, battling with the thoughts that want to pop in and say, you can't do that. You're not good at sales. Like, why do you think anybody cares what you have to say? You're not going to be successful doing that. All of those things started popping in my head, and I've been kind of like plucking them out one by one. Like, okay. But instead of just doing that, now I'm trying to pivot or trying to change them because I know that those thoughts are what are creating my reality. That's the answer of why could I never figure it out? Because I never believed in me enough to do it. I never felt like people cared what I would have to say or people would if there's 0 people in here, okay, I'm still going to show up. And that's where I'm getting to. I'm also understanding that this whole program is not only just for me, it's not just to resell the program. You absolutely can do that. And that's where a lot of people, that's what their daily thing is, to promote the program. And at first I was like, well, okay, I was all on board. And then I went through a period, I would say just recently, within the last few weeks, where again, if I go back to how my brain works, I got to a point of saying, but what else? Because yeah, I love the program. I'm all about it. I believe in it 1,000%. But the consistency to show up and just talk about the program, I was like, my brain is just going, I'm the wife that on a random whatever day is like, oh, look what I just found. And my husband says, what about the thing that like you were excited about? Remember the thing you were starting like last month? And I'm like, oh, I know, but listen to this. Like, that's me. That is me, because I get so excited about the possibilities of something that sounds like it's it. And before this program, I would, that kind of energy around it would just fade away. And it would kind of just be like again, the fire that you don't keep putting things in to keep it going. Eventually that big log is just going to burn out. It's going to fizzle out if you don't keep it going. The difference with this program versus other things that I've done and other groups and other communities I've been a part of is the daily interaction. It's huge because we're all going to have days like that. We're all going to have days of just like, why do I even bother? Maybe not everybody, but this is my brain. Why do I even bother? Blah, 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 blah. And I kind of have one of those days where I'm learning how to, again, take those thoughts and shift them or question them or challenge them a little bit. But then I get to plug into the community and the training because it's daily. That's what it makes it different from a digital marketing course, because there's courses and there's programs. This is a program, so it's interactive daily. Like, we get daily training. We have daily, like, I shouldn't say, daily, but weekly live meetings, things that you can go to that you are plugging in. When they say plug into the training, plug into the community, that's what we're talking about. Because a course, you get information and education, absolutely. Because there's a lot of good, I'm not even knocking other things. Like, I'm not the type of person to just be like, don't get in that one, get this one just because I said. Like, there's other things out there that are great that people love too. But the difference I've found, because I've had both, I've had a course and I have now this program. So I was new to all of it before I got, and it was a pretty quick transition to the program. I see the differences now. That's what I share with people is absolutely, if the course is what you go for it. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to. But what I have found is the program has like these missing pieces that like the course didn't have. For me now, again, with my ADD brain and with everything going on, it like keeps me in. It gives me that encouragement daily to be like, okay, it's fine that you think that, but let's do this. I mean, there's mindset training. There is training how to have your own product, or if you don't want to have your own product, how to find your perfect customer, how to approach just your daily stuff and how you do this. It's all in there. It's like an all-inclusive thing. It could be the difference of, I guess you could relate it to like, going to a travel agent or somebody that knows how to do an all-inclusive vacation or something where everything's all included. It's all there. You pay a one-time thing and here's all the things you could just do right there versus you trying to piece together a whole bunch of things. Now, does it make one right over the other? No, but it's more about, wow, that sounds really convenient and awesome. It's kind of all in one place and I can kind of get everything I need there. Now, I'm down in my basement, but not sitting and typing at my keyboard. And I'm having so much fun because I'm learning how to build my other social media stuff. I'm also an ASMR artist, if you know about ASMR. So I have, and the program, the Legacy Builders, okay, now this is where I say it crosses over and it's going to spill over into every area of your life. This is not just, it's not just a program, just a course, just a how to make money online. It's going to spill over into every area of your life because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So for me, it's inspiring me to apply what I'm learning to my other stuff. The stuff that completely feeds into, in a good way, to my ADD brain. The one that's like, if you know anything about ASMR, if you don't, ASMR for me, there's a ton of different styles and a ton of different, what's the word I'm looking for? Niches in ASMR. But what I do is I help people relax. I help people get a good night's sleep. I help people that have really high anxiety or, again, somebody with an ADD brain. That's how I found it in the first place. And it quickly became I want to do this because it sounds amazing. It's amazing for my brain. I didn't know why I liked it in the beginning, by the way. I think most people that discover ASMR see it and they're like, that's weird, but why do I like it? And they keep coming back to it. It's because for some people's brains, I'll just talk about my brain because I can't speculate on other people's brains. For my brain, what it did is, with all the things that I have going on, okay, I mentioned HSP also, highly sensitive person. I am definitely that too. But it can be so detailed throughout the day that I am so overwhelmed with stuff jumping out at me, like the colors of my wall. When I painted my house, the color I have painted is called marshmallow because it's soft, it's pillowy, it's like comfortable. Like that stuff jumps out at me all day long. whether it's that or whether I'm like, ooh, that curtain, it looks like it's crooked, or the rod might be not straight, or oh, that sticker looks like it's coming off, or all day long. So what ASMR did for me was it's based on sound or a situation that you watch. It could be visual, it could be something you hear, and it would like zero my brain. My brain would like hyper focus on whatever the sound is, and all the other stuff would kind of just fade to the background, and I was able to relax. Because some days before I found it, the only way that I could stop the chaos in my brain was to literally, like, and this was a strategy somebody showed me, was to cover up your eyes, because then the visual stimulation can be shut down. So then it was like, okay, at least take some of it out of the equation so I can just, I'd have to go in my space, in my room, whatever, and just stare at the wall for a minute because it just got overwhelming. So before I found ASMR, that was a normal thing. But now I'm learning, because I built my ASMR stuff. That's probably the most success I've had online. Let's put it that way. I want to keep going with it, but I got stuck trying to figure out how to grow that niche, how to grow that channel, that brand. Because really it's a brand, simply KatieAnn ASMR. I have a YouTube channel. I have another TikTok channel that's what I do. And I go live and I do things on there. But I got stuck with the doubts, right? The doubts creep in like, oh, well, there's people that are more successful than you. Oh, you're not really making that much money doing it. Oh, you're really, like, all those things. And they started becoming reality and taking over. And when I got in this program, when I got in the Legacy Builders, and I started plugging into all of the training and the mindset stuff and all of that, and how I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So on the surface, that was a way for me to make money online by sharing the program with other people, and then they purchase the program and changes their life too, and then they share it with, that's on the surface, that's what it was. But then, just like with everything else, it was like, but what else? It's amazing that I get to help other people change their life too. Then it became, well, why don't I apply these things to my other social media channels? And I got all excited. It just literally clicked one day. I don't know if you have those moments where it kind of sounds like, well, duh, it's a program to teach you about digital marketing. So anything digital, it's going to help you with. Well, my brain wasn't. I was in learning mode, because I said the Legacy Builders #1 is education. It's like learning how to do the things. And then it's not only how, but then they say, how about I give you the business of your very own to practice with, to learn how to do the things, to learn how to do the strategies. And so it's almost like I say like an apprenticeship, or I don't know what other word to use, but if you take a college course, or if you go to a trade school, or like, let's say, I always use welding, because like I know a couple people that are in welding, and I know that, like, that's a skilled trade. It's like taking a course or a program or something in welding, and they say, okay, Bob the welder takes people, like, under their wing and teaches them how, like the on-the-job training. That's what I was looking for, on-the-job training. So you can learn from the books about how to weld, but here, you actually do it. You put on the helmet, here's how you do it. And we're going to pay you for your time, because you are actually welding things that are part of what our company does. That's the Legacy Builders. That's what it is. So it's like, here, we're going to teach you how all this works together, but we're also going to give you the opportunity to practice what we're teaching. with your very own online business. And it's like, wait, that was the part I had a hard time because I was like, wait, what? I was looking for the education. So when I heard about the business opportunity that was attached that said, no, you can actually practice all the stuff that we're teaching, because we're going to give you the automated system for free, because this business works on automations. It works even when you're not working. I've had people purchase the program and I'm sleeping in bed when they purchase. So it's like that apprenticeship or that on-the-job training that you can earn while you learn. So all of that to say, number one is excuse me, I can't speak. Actually, I want to grab a drink. This program can be what you want it to be. The very first thing is, okay, do you want to learn about how to be in the online space? Do you want to learn about how people are making money online? Are you ready to like level up? Are you ready to join the online space that's growing leaps and bounds, and especially the e-learning? I don't even remember the number that is thrown out there, but like it's headed towards like $1 trillion a day or something, just like a number my brain just can't even comprehend. All I know is anywhere the internet can reach is your potential to connect to your perfect customer, because this is international too. This isn't just for in the United States. But this why can't I say program? I think I'm getting ready to end my life because I can't. This program can be whatever you want it to be. Do you want it for the education? Okay, now I'm understanding this is so much more than what I thought it was even on day one, and I thought it was a lot. It's teaching me how to approach my other social medias that I haven't like scaled the way that I wanted to yet. Because every time I plug into the training, it's like locking it in. It's like doo-doo-doo. It's like filing it and saying, okay, ooh, you can actually apply that to your other stuff too. It's not just for digital marketing. The digital marketing applies to everything you're doing in the digital space. And again, it might sound like duh right now, but for me, it was like I was putting it in a box over here and saying digital marketing. I have to just tell people work 2 hours a day, make 100% profit, not an MLM, and my brain was like bored with that. I'm being real and honest. Like my brain was bored because also I can't make it harder than it is, because really that's what's involved. That's it. Like it's picking social media platform. You can just pick one. In fact, they usually recommend just to pick one in the beginning. So let's say you have never been on social media, or you're on social media, but you haven't like built your own thing on social media or your own brand. This is for complete beginners, because I didn't know anything about digital marketing either before I got in. Yes, I had social media platforms already, but I still didn't feel like it was going where I was really wanting to go and ready to, but I just didn't have the tools or the mindset, to be quite honest, to get there. And so you pick whatever social media you want, whether it's this one, whether it's some of the other ones. I never know what I can say, because I feel like people will sometimes say, I can't even give you an example. The camera one, like the IG, I don't know, whatever, the other apps, but you can do this anywhere, and you can also do this as a faceless brand. If you don't want your face out there, if you can't, a lot of people do this as like a side hustle or a secondary thing, and they have a job that is like, yeah, you can't be all over social media. And they're like, okay, you can do this completely faceless. And I do have a faceless channel also, because I was like, I'm curious. And that's actually been really fun. And you can make connections with people by not even showing your face. So I go back to saying this can be whatever you want it to be. Do you want it to just be the education to help you build your other stuff? It's going to be that. Do you want this to be a business opportunity? And just that, just by sharing this program with others, it can be that. Do you want it to help you build your other stuff? It can be that. Do you not have other stuff yet, but you want other stuff in the digital space? It can be that. Like, it's all of it. And it's also going to give you that leveling up if you're at that point where you're ready. And when I say that, it would be a moment like I described earlier. Like, I knew when I was ready to level up is when I was sitting on the couch that one day, like 3 years ago, and I said, I'm so sick of myself. And I am ready to get to where I want to go because I'm not there right now, and I'm not going to stay here. That's a decision. That is a choice you're making. And it's really hard to hear because I know the first time I heard it, it was like immediately you're defensive and saying, you don't know my situation. It's not to diminish or not acknowledge anybody's situations. And it's not about avoiding them either in life. It's not about avoiding the yuck. It's about knowing the yuck's going to happen, but also saying, okay, this sucks really bad right now, whatever the scenario is. And feeling it. Our emotions are all valid. It's not about never feeling sad. It's not about never feeling upset or frustrated or disappointed. We're supposed to feel all those things. But then it's like, what do we do after that? This is a thing that kids say, all right, if you're ready, if you're in a position where you're like, I am not happy. I'm not happy working for someone else and making them rich. I just want to make some extra spending money. And I don't want to do it by working a second job outside the house because I'm already away enough working my first job. I want to stay home, but I also want to, and it's like 2 hours a day. I can build something else. It could be that. If you're ready to level up somehow, and it also is for personal growth. I had to get into it to know, to be able to say that, because I will never say something just to sell a product. I need to believe in it wholeheartedly. It has to touch my soul. And it has to be like wow moments for me to really be all in, like I'm showing up here on a live. I couldn't do this if I didn't believe in the program. I know myself, and I know that you guys might be running across my channel for the first time or seeing me for the first time. So no, you don't know me, but I know me, and I know that I could never be on here talking about it if I didn't believe in it myself and have also seen positive results from it. Because our brains are all about show me the proof. Show me the proof. I could go down that path. That's a whole... See, that's why I always have the... I figured this out. You know, I just figured this out last week. And I don't know what it was in one of the daily trainings or something that somebody said, and I was like, it just clicked. And I said, my brain is all over the place, and I absolutely love it. But when I go live, what's stopping me from going live? Because I went live for a while, and then I stopped. I was like, why did I stop? Because I found myself saying, well, I don't know what to talk about. Now, if you've been in here, you're like, she hasn't stopped talking. Obviously, when you're on a live, that's kind of the whole idea. I don't know what time I started this, actually. But I figured out how to work with my brain and say, all right, I'm going to find like a quote or a something that can be like my anchor. It can be like what I go back to when I feel like my brain is going in too many directions. But I can tie everything I'm saying into this quote. And I'll say it one more time before I jump off. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. And hold on, I have to do this puzzle thing because TikTok makes us do that. Okay. You are capable of more than you imagine, and the only limits you have are the limits you believe. This applies to everything. I'm also getting live because I realize I have a lot to share beyond the digital marketing program opportunity. When I picked my domain, buildingwealthwithkatie.com. Wealth is so much more than money. Is it part of it? Absolutely. It's like wealth and abundance to me are now becoming simultaneous. That's not the right word. Interchangeable. Wealth is it. So the money part for me personally in my journey has been the thing where I've been like, oh, if I could just figure that one out. Because I have an amazing husband, super supportive. I have 2 amazing kids, 2 boys. And, you know, I'm living in the house that I've wanted in the area. And like, I have a lot of the things. And in my brain, it was like, oh, but just, if I could just figure that one out. So on the surface, yes, but money is just part of wealth. There's wealth of knowledge. Wealth of knowledge, wealth of health, wealth of money, wealth of relationships, wealth of connection, wealth of fulfillment, like soul fulfilling things. I want all of that. And what also this program, the more I plug in and the more that I do the work and the more that I explore all the mindset that's involved, is the more that I believe, okay, if I go back to that quote, the more that I believe in me, the more it raises my frequency. I can get way into that. It's probably going to end up being a whole live just talking about it. But just really quick, okay, everything has a frequency. We talked about energy. Money has a frequency like up here. And if you're here, because you haven't connected to your abundance of money yet, right? So it's up here because money has a very high frequency. If you live each day here, okay, let's just say this is your starting point. And every day, you're focusing on what you don't have. You're focusing on the scenario that you're not happy with. You're focusing on how much money you don't have, how many bills you pay, just whatever it is. Okay, that's keeping your energy and your frequency down here. So it's almost like going like this. If you're moving up, but you're still having those thoughts. So money's still up here. How do you change that? It's by shifting your mindset. So where each day you wake up, and gratitude is a really great way to raise your frequency, okay? So you start doing things that go like this. So that each day I wake up and say, I am so grateful to have this candle so that I can light it. And when I go live for ASMR, it just creates such a nice warm glow, and it smells really good, and so that I feel good. I took something as simple as a candle and express gratitude. Whether it's out loud or in your head, I talk to myself a lot. I'm just going to be honest. So I'll say it out loud. I am so grateful for this hairbrush, so that I can make sure my hair is not tangled. You can be grateful for everything. Even if you're not where you want to be, but you're grateful for what you have, because what that does is it raises your frequency. It raises the vibration and the energy that you're putting out. If you put out positive, you're going to get more positive. If you put out negative, you're going to get more of that. If every day you wake up and focus on what you don't have. Now, this is different than having goals. Because obviously I'm doing this opportunity because I found myself like, I want to make more money. I want to be home with my kids. I want to make money online. But instead of focusing every day on that, I would take steps every day to get me towards that goal, but also express so much gratitude for where I am. Excuse me. So what that does is it raises your vibration every day so that you can because it's there. I just want to tell you that abundance, that wealth of all the things is just waiting for you. It's waiting for you to be able to connect. It can't connect to you like this because it's going like this. It's like, I'm trying, but we're not connecting. Because you're down here based on your thoughts and your beliefs and the energy that you're putting out every day. You can put this, it's not a spin, but it might feel like it in the beginning. You can put it on any scenario. You can wake up every morning getting ready for work for a job that you hate. Okay, let's just be real with this. Every day you're like, oh, but it makes money because you got to take care of your family, right? You got to start with the first day. Wake up and just say, I am so grateful to be able to have this opportunity to bring in the money to take care of my family. Now, you know you hate this job, whatever it is that you're in, but you can be so grateful for the opportunity because it brings in that money to take care of your family. And it doesn't mean you have to stay there, though. But you can express gratitude for that job while you're going, okay, I know I don't want this long term, but thank you so much for the opportunity to bring in that money to take care of my family. That's a very easy, I say easy, you can say that. Whether you believe it or not on day one, just throw that out the window because your brain has carved this big giant path of saying, I hate this job and I don't, whatever it is, and oh, my boss is a jerk and these people, they're just, they don't care about me and oh, I have to go sit in this office and what. Your brain has carved this giant path of all the things that you hate about that job. So when you first wake up and say, thank you so much, and you try to feel gratitude for it, it's not going to feel good because you have to practice. Just trust me. Try it. Just try it. Try it one day, and it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about a job you hate. Whatever scenario you're in that's keeping you down here when you want to be up here, start expressing gratitude every single day. When you wake up in the morning and we all pass by a mirror, you're going to give yourself a high five. Because dang it, you're doing amazing. You're doing the best you can do, and you can be grateful every single morning, whether it's just for 2 seconds on one thing. Start there and let it grow from there. So buildingwealthwithkatie.com. If you're curious about what I'm talking about and what has helped me with a lot of this, wherever it's going, I don't know where it's going, but all I know is I'm showing up and I'm learning how to be me more. Because that's what I want to do. I want to be out there. I want to connect to you guys. I want to help other people do the same thing. If that's what you want to do. If you're curious, buildingwealthwithkatie.com, put in your email address. It's like a capture page. It's going to say, you'll get a guide to 30K in 90 days. There's all kinds of training in the program, like I said, whatever you want it to be. But ultimately, it's going to say put in your email. If you put in your email, I'm going to send you an email through my automations. It's going to give you an idea of what this is about. And you can click in there and you can look at the programs and the different ones. And maybe you decide, you know what, it's not it. You could just opt out and that's it. But what if it is it? It's an opportunity to look at. It's free to look at it. You can also reply to any of the emails. So I encourage you to just take a look if it sounds like it's something that you're curious about. Other than that, I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will definitely be showing up because I feel pumped. And I really want to connect to you guys. I'd love to get some conversations going in here when I go live. And I'm going to keep working on I've figured out some really cool stuff with like dual streaming and whatever for my ASMR. I'm so excited. And this is fun. Like, I want it to just feel like we're hanging out and we're having little chit chats and yeah, all the things. Okay. So buildingwealthwithkatie.com, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay. Bye.